Hello, Queen. One second. Just gotta get another sip of water. I got a bit flabbergasted right before starting stream. My Mohili, it's your favorite Drew, Olive, and today we're finishing the Chusu. I almost said we're playing. We're not playing the Chusu. I wish I could, but I don't speak Chinese, I can't sing, and I don't have a Gucci on me. You quadruple modding? Wow. You're so tough, Queen. Hello, Queen. Anyway, so finishing the truce, we've been waiting long enough to finish this work. Ages and ages and ages. And I'm excited to finally get in and finish. Alright. And we're gonna start with where we left off. I'm pretty sure last time we read the Great Summoning or the Lesser Summoning. I don't remember which one this is. But now we're gonna start off with Zirshir, which is regretting the vows. Sorry. I'm nervous because it's been a while since I've done this. Let us begin. Deploring how I grow older by the year and weaker by the day, realizing how many harvests have come and gone never to return, I float high, climbing toward blue skies, passing through the mountains daily farther, observing the winding river ways wriggling below. Then, with clothes dripping after skimming the four seas, I send to the pole star to rest, and breathe in the air of midnight to satisfy my hunger. The vermilion bird flies ahead, on command to scout for me, as I drive Great Unity's ivory chariot, with the azure dragon undulating in the left harness, and the white tiger galloping in the right. And I raise the sun and moon for canopies, over the jade women, who ride in my rear wagons, and with them I gallop through the dark space, then to rest in Kunlun mounds, where we exhaust the limits of pleasure, still not satisfied. I want to wander in playful company with the clear-sighted spirits, so I cross the Sinipa River and pursue at full gallop. And on my right the ancient custom of Bactria. Hi, Viper. I still don't understand what it means by Bactria. On its first ascent, the Golden Swan sees the wriggling network of mountains and rivers. On its next ascent, it observes the right angles of the earth and the curves of the sky, and looks down on the teeming population of the central states as it yields to the play of the whirlwinds. Then we alight on the wilds of the plain of youth. Red Pine and Wang Chao, two masters, join me, each bringing his many stringed se, which they tune to each other and perform the Qing Shan at my request. At peace and content, I wheel through the air absorbing its many energies, mindful nevertheless that I'd rather return to my old home than live a transcendent, endless life. When the golden swan comes to nest out of season, the owl flocks to stop her. When the spirit dragon seeks lodging in a waterless land, ants and mole crickets make him their prey. If that's what befalls golden swans and spirit dragons, how much worse for the virtuous in chaotic times? Life passes gnome slowly. Daily I grow weaker. As time turns, surely with unceasing, the uncommon run never stops following. The crooked who gather to straighten the already straight, and form secret cliques to advance each other illicitly, while others withdraw from life to hide deep in safety. Bitter it is to be weighted in the scales of the careless, to be mixed and pale with the worthless, to be levelled by the same screed, and balanced against the same counterweight. Some adapt to what is required, changing shape as needed, and others speak honestly, daring to contradict. It hurts me that you can't distinguish the faithful from the frauds. You who twine your rope with both silk and straw. This benighted age is the work of the vulgar. They confuse black and white, beautiful and ugly. They reject turtles from the deep pools and high mountain jade, while they conspire to raise the price of pebbles. May Beau, for his many remonstrations, found himself pickled in brine, while lie gay, obeying his lord's every whim, won sway in the kingdom. Sad to see the humane maintaining their integrity, only to be savaged by the small. After Bigan offered his loyal critique, they split his heart open. So Jiazhe let his head hang down in feigned insanity. Water dammed off from its source stops flowing. A tree cut off from its roots stops growing. It is not to preserve myself that I fret over the coming disaster. I simply regret that as a wounded man I'll be helpless to save my lord. Envoy. It is too late. Did you not see the Luan birds and phoenixes circling high over our heads? For then when who went who then went to perch in the great unplowed wilds? Who will wander the four directions and never rest, save where they see the virtuous thrive? Sages of godly virtue escape dirty worlds and hide. For isn't a unicorn bridled and tethered, little different from a dog or a goat? Hmm. And that was the regretting the vows. Oh, Sky's walked into my room. 1 second. Hi, Sky. Sorry about that. My dog, they've been feeling nervous ever since we left for Christmas and like to sit on top of us now. Sky, you're leaning into me. Sorry about that, everyone. Next up, we have us quit. We have a quartet. We have Morning Chu Yuan, the Dao Chu Yuan. Oh, sorry, we actually have a duo. We have the Dao Chu Yuan, or Morning Chu Yuan, and the Fu Fu, or the Owl Rhapsody. Let's begin with the Dao Chu Yuan, which is the Morning Chu Yuan. For the great kindness of His Majesty, I bring my blameworthy incompetence to serve in Changsha, where I hear the story of Chu Yuan, who drowned himself in the Milu River. And as I come to reside near the flow of the Xiang, I reverently mourn that gentleman, who in the grip of a generation that knew no limits, lost his life. Alas, the pity! To have the ill luck to live in such an era, when the phoenix took cover, while the buzzard soared, when esteem and glory went to the worthless, and slander and flattery assured success, when worthies and sages were dragged by the feet, and the upright were turned on their heads, a time when Sui and Yi were called corrupt, and Ji and Chao pure, and the Moye sword was reckoned dull, and blades of lead fought sharp. I sigh speechless, for it wasn't his fault that they cast away the dynastic cauldrons of Zhao, and valued worthless worn-out clay jars. That they yoked the tired oxen to their chariots, or harnessed lame mules, while the thoroughbred ears drooping pulled the salt carts, and the caps of war officers were cut to line the shoes. How long could that have lasted? Alas, how bitter for him to suffer such wrongs alone. The envoy. It is over now, he said. No one in the kingdom values me. Alone in your melancholy, to whom could you speak? Rising on air the phoenix heads for a higher realm, ensuring its safety by keeping its distance. The spirit dragon enters the deepest pool, its treasure itself submerged and out of sight. If it shuns the crocodile and otter to live in hiding, why would it mingle with shrimp and leeches? The divine virtue of the sage, that you so value, protects itself by keeping far from the filthy world. If a horse that can gallop 1,000 miles is tethered and hobbled, how does it differ from a dog or a goat? You suffered similar wrong by tarrying in the chaos. That indeed was your mistake. Could you have travelled the 9 regions to find another ruler? Why did you cling so to such a city? The phoenix and the Samura soared 1,000 fathoms high, and land only when they see virtue's glory. But seeing slight virtues, dangerous signs, they beat their wings faster and depart. Would a fathom-long puddle of stagnant water have room for a fish large enough to swallow a boat? Surely even a sturgeon or whale, with its choice of any river and lake, will be bullied by the mole crickets and ants in such a place. And that was Morning Chu Yuan. Here we had the Fu Fu or the Owl Rhapsody. In the Changye year, on the 4th month, summertime just beginning, on the Gangzhi day, toward evening, flew into my room flew an owl. Standing at the corner of my sitting mat, at ease and fearless, strange beast landing in my house. I thought it must be some sort of sign. Rolling out the divination scroll, I read it was an omen. Wild birds enter rooms. The master of the house would soon depart. I respectfully inquired of the bird, "If I am going, where? If to a good place, tell me. If it's not, I want to know. What disaster's in the offing? Sooner? Later? How long have I?" Sighed the owl with its head uplifted, beat its wings, and spoke no word. But let me tell you what it wished to say. Everything is in constant state of change, moving in circular flow, always pushing forward only to return. From energy to form, from form to energy, like the cicada molting, mysterious, infinite, beyond the border of words. Misfortune depends on good fortune hides in misfortune. Joy and grief crowd through the same gate, calamity and felicity rule through the same realm. The kingdom of Wu was great and strong, but under King Fuchai defeated. The kingdom of Yue once fled to Mount Guiji, but under King Goujian it triumphed. Li Xie wandered into success, but died in the 5 cruelest penalties. Fu Yue once worked on a chain gang, but rose to be Wu Ding's prime minister. Are not good fortune and bad, but 2 strands entwined to make one rope? Fate cannot be fathomed. Who knows how you will end? Swifter the water, the harder the sailing. The swifter the arrow, the farther it strikes. There is no action that is not a reaction, a resonance, a turning in turn. Clouds rising, rains falling, bound to each other by numberless threads. A great potter at his wheel, turning out countless creations. Heaven is unpredictable, you cannot foresee its way. Life, whether long or short, is predestined. How can you know when your time is at hand? Now heaven and earth are the furnace, creation changed the smiths, yin and yang the charcoal, and the myriad creatures the bronze ware. The joining, separating, destruction and production. What meaning or purpose gives shape to it all? One of countless change and transformation, without beginning or ending. You are an accident. What of you is worth clinging to? You will change into something else. And what about that makes you afraid? Those of little wisdom think themselves precious, scorning the idea they might become other. But enlightened ones have broader vision. To the next phase, whatever it brings, they nod yes. The greedy will sacrifice themselves for wealth, the ardent will sacrifice themselves for fame, the ambitious will die for power. But most people simply want to live. And seduced by our desires, we sometimes rush east, sometimes west. But the great do not so much as bend. To them the infinite form of change are one. The stupid are bound to the ordinary. They cannot escape it. They are like prisoners, while the perfected move beyond mere things and to come face to face with the Tao. Most people will wallow in their pile of myriad likes and dislikes. Those who live in the true are tranquil, finding peace only in the Tao. They abandon mind and transcend body. Going beyond, they lose themselves. In the boundless void, riding high on the Tao, going wherever it flows, it stops only at the islets. They give themselves over entirely to destiny, seeing the self not as something to own. They live as though floating, die as though pausing to rest. Theirs is the calm of water that fills an abyss, and there they drift like unmoored boats. Don't think yourself special merely for being alive. Nurture yourself on emptiness and float. One of such virtue is unencumbered, understands destiny and has no worry. An hour is a trifle, a twig, a mustard seed. Why trouble your mind over something like me? I think that just insulted me. And that was the Fu Fu, or the Owl Rhapsody. Now we're starting on chapter 12, which is the I Shi Ming, or I Lament It Was Not My Destiny. I'm gonna take a drink. Okay. I lament it was not my destiny. I lament it was not my destiny to live in the time of the ancients. Why was I born in the wrong era? I cannot bring back those who have gone before me, and those to come I can't arrange to meet. Sorry. With no other way to tell my heart's sorrow, I'll inscribe it in the lines of a poem. Sleepless all night, eyes wide open, heart full of secrets, I have come to this. I dare not speak my melancholy, for who in the crowd would help me save the future? Sadness harries my face and wearies my bones. Old age, gnomed slow, overtake me. Where I live in sad, obscure poverty, aspiration thwarted, frustrated by blocked roads I cannot pass, and a broad river with no bridges. I wish to go to Kunlun's hovering gardens, to gather flower of jade on Zhong Peak, and pick the long branches of the Yellowstone tree, and see the Langfang and Bangtong peaks. But there is no sailing the rushing waters of the Ro. I cannot walk the midway ending road, nor have I fins to ride the waves that go there, or wings to soar high. So I withdraw into self-pity and mute yearning, walking back and forth idle and alone, sad and confused, constantly brooding, a wronged man with a heart indignant, in secret anguish and pain upon pain. Here I languish immobilized, hungrier by the day, with little to eat, and grain to supply cut off. No one with me, I stand embracing my shadow, a heart yearning for home beyond, and no companion in drear emptiness, who will join me to savor what fragrance is left. As the white sun descends to enter the sea, I grieve my life will not be long. My chariot creaks, my horses nag. I am crippled and cannot leave. At her place in this generation's muddy waters, which is better for me, advance or retreat? My cap towers so high it cuts through the clouds. My richly wrought sword drags for miles at my side, and my flowing robe is so wide that my left sleeve catches on the handhold mulberry, and my right sleeve brushes against imperfect mountains. I find small range in this six-sided world. I carve the axe handle as did Fouché, calibrate compass and tri-square the same as Yao and Shun. I wish to honor integrity and to emulate the lofty, but cannot look up to Yao Xue and Tang of Shang. Although I've seen troubles my principles endure, never would I harm the straight for the sake of the crooked. A generation of factions is on the rise, all leveled off the same screed board, huddling shoulder to shoulder, while the good keep their distance and hide. For someone is making quail cages in which they keep phoenixes, where even if they gather their wings, they will not fit. If the spirit August will not wake up and take notice, how will I state my case to prove my utmost loyalty? If the vulgar in their envy block the worthy from view, who will even know how the worthy behave? If I let my anger out to say the things inside my heart, how do I know it will bring me good or ill? Jade tablets are mixed with clay rice steamers. Long Liang and Meng Zhao live in the same place. Since my whole world takes this as normal, I am sure to suffer misery till the end of my days. Tossing and turning alone in the dark, I cannot sleep. Lonely anguish fills my breast. My soul flit about unsettled. Indignation struggles in my heart. My thoughts are gloomy, remorseful, uneasy. The road is rock-strewn and dark. Alone I keep to this cramped corner, ever in pain and constantly sighing. I grieve the night long and cannot sleep. My temper seethes like a choppy sea. I hold the engraving knife but do not use it. I take up the compass and tri-square without a thing to measure. Let Qi and Ji run only the length of a courtyard, and they'll never be able to run broad plains. Shut a gibbon in a tiny cage with lattice windows, but expect no agility when it's time to perform. If you try a chariot up a mountain with a team of lame tortoises, I know for sure you'll never reach the top. If you fire Guangzhong and Yang Ying and give office to a servant boy, the steel yard of sovereignty will falsely weigh. You mix Arab bamboo with hemp straw. You load your crossbow with tumbleweed to shoot through leather armor. I am bent over and staggering under your burden of your folly. I want to straighten up and walk, but cannot. Just outside, nets are set to trap me, and tethered arrows aim to drag me out of the sky. Sliding in with rounded shoulders, I still do not fit. If I pull my belly in further, I won't be able to breathe. Wu Guang threw himself into deep water. He did not take to the world's dirt. No ladle with broken handle will long be used. I am willing to withdraw and live in poverty, making a home by digging a cave into the side of a cliff, washing my clothes on the bank of a river, soaked with morning mist and dew. Clouds gathering to serve as my roof, with a crowd of rainbows at dawn, and flooding downpours at night. Despair all over the homeless waste, thwarts a distant view in the deserted wilds. Down here sinking my fishhook in a valley stream, I look to those who achieve transcendence up there. I would befriend Red Pine, be the companion of Wang Chao, and have Zhao Yang as my guide. With white tigers guiding me fore and aft, through clouds and mist I would enter the blue, calmly riding a white deer. Eyes straight ahead, my soul home in the solitude, speeding onward and beyond, never returning, daily onward to dwell in high distance, with a delirious mind but a wounded heart. Soaring through blue clouds, a Luan phoenix is out of range of tethered arrows. Hidden at the base of a whirlpool, the dragon will never find itself caught in a net. He knows it. Sorry, my dog jammed my foot. He knows it is better to play in the crystal waves than lust for fatal bait. I would rather hide far away, out of calamity's reach, whose attacks and insults could be aimed my way then. Yishua died, but got his revenge. Chu Yuan drowned in the Meluo River. Such men never changed, even when torn limb from limb. And what could change the truly loyal and trustworthy? My will beats with an upright heart. I walk a straight line with no deviation. I work the scales with no dishonest fault. Weighing truly the light and the heavy. I cleanse the chaos of filth. I clear away layers of dirt to restore the pristine state. My form is clean. What I'm made of is pure, immaculate, gleaming to the core. But my contemporaries, fed up with me, reject my service. So I go away and hide for now. I'll hide away, erase my every trace, keeping quiet with nary a murmur. Alone in worry, anger, and trouble, to whom could I go to vent my rage, to open my heart? The darkening hour, the day almost over, brings melancholy, sighing, but no good name. Bo Yi died on Shouyang Mountain, dying in the end obscure and unsung. A Tai Gong, without a King Wen, would have gone to his death unfulfilled. I want to reveal the white jade and ivory in my bosom, the jasper hanging from my waist, but no one has eyes to appraise them. I was born, it seems, just to pass between heaven and earth. I'll disappear, leaving no mark. An evil influence assails my body, sprouting sickly discomforts. I wish but to see once more the bright days of sunny spring, for I fear my time is running out. And that was the Aisha Ming, chat. Isn't that depressing? Anyways, I think we're moving on to the last poem in this section. This is the 13th poem, or the Zhao Ying Shi, calling the hermit back. 1 second while I take another drink. I think we have a poem after this, but then it's done. If we are just done, I'm just gonna end the stream early. In the depths of the mountains, the cinnamon trees grow densely, its writhing branches wander and interlace in high mountain mists that crowd the boulders looming over the steep drop to wave upon wave of the river in the valley. When gibbons and packs yell and tigers and leopards roar, climb the branches of the cinnamon tree and stay there a while as you roam, my prince, not coming home, and the spring grass grows lushly. But towards year's end you'll find no consolation. In the summer cicada buzzing, on the endless paths winding, the wastes of the mountains, as your heart aches flustered, by having stayed too long, and you climb in panic and terror, through dense bush and deep woods, trembling where tigers and leopards make their dens. Gaunt peaks rise steeply, and strange rocks at all angles, and in the forest thick with leaves and branches, sagging over tangled shrubs, and green sedge growing in between, and bog bulrush waving in the breeze, the white deer and elk bucks leap or stand with towering crowns and glossy fur. But when macaques and bears, longing for their species keen, climb the branches of the cinnamon tree and stay a while, for the tigers fight leopards and black bears roar at brown, even wild beasts quail when parted from their kind. Return, my prince, for in the mountains you cannot stay long. And that is all the poems. That was the Conan Back the Hermit. Well, chat, I hope you all enjoyed that. We only had like a half-hour stream, but I hope that was okay with you. We're gonna be going on a raid. Yes, I know. We're leaving like so quick. We normally spend at least an hour, but I have nothing else planned. I honestly thought it would take longer. Let's panic. Yay! Who do we have? Relevant, Maeve, Shadow? Well, we have to raid Shadow. Well, chat, I had fun. I hope you had fun too. I'll see you all next time. 1 second. I'll see you all next time. We'll be doing games and streams and stuff. Goodbye.